I'm David Dinsmore, founder of the Center for Authentic Performance, where I help high performers maximize impact by expanding personal awareness. And we're doing a conversation today with my friend Andres. He is a dentist from Colombia, far, far away. How in the world did you get to the United States?
Well, from Colombia. So this has been a really good experience. I'm just looking for my dreams in this wonderful country, meeting wonderful people as you. So, well, I'm so happy.
Yeah, it's good to see you. And I wanted to talk to Andres a little bit. I love meeting all kinds of people, especially from other countries, whether I go to the country and visit them. But I love to spend some time and get to know the international visitors that come with us. And I've gotten to know Andres. Andres is super talented. He does a lot of things. But before we go there, I keep learning more about Andres as time goes on. But before we go there, so you're a dentist. When did you decide to become a dentist?
Well, this decision came from my dad, basically. He is a dentist, so when I was little, I saw him working on the patients and having this medical life. So I thought, well, I want to be one. So I went to the dental school in Colombia, in Bogota. I have a brother and he's also a dentist. So this is kind of dynasty with dad, exactly. So, but yeah, that's what. So then I went to Bogota to become a dentist in the San Martin University. I went there for 5 years and then boom, a dentist.
5 years, boom, you become a dentist.
Exactly.
Okay, so how old were you when you decided to become a dentist?
I was probably 17 years old. Yeah, I was.
And is it hard, even for your dad, is it hard to select a profession and become a professional? Or is it standard, just like it is here? Or?
Yeah, I think that depends on what do you want. If you really want to be a dentist, you can do it. You just need to study hard, work hard, and the things that you want to do, and then everything comes after your decision. So. Okay.
And do you have other brothers and sisters?
Yeah, I just have one brother. He's now actually living in Argentina because he's studying to be an orthodontic there.
Okay.
And then, yeah.
Okay. Now, did you practice dentistry after graduation in Colombia?
Yeah, I did. I was working in Colombia for probably 3 years. I worked with my dad first in his office for a while. It was almost a year. And then I got another job in Bogota for a huge company, Sonria. And I was working there 2 more years as a dentist as well.
And life was pretty good?
Well, was awesome. I mean, when you are in your country, you can feel comfortable. You can feel that you are in your area. So it was great. It was a pretty good job. And then you have the chance to talk to people about life. It wasn't just dentistry. I was working in the marketing part of dentistry. So it means I have to sell the treatment. Means if you need some braces, if you need some implants, then I try to guide you and choose the better for you.
To help show them why it's helpful.
Exactly.
Valuable for them. Okay. And then so you're practicing dentistry 3 years after, is that right?
About 3 years, about 3 years.
Okay, so what prompted the vision or the idea to come to America?
It was a dream that I had many years ago, and then I found the chance to come to study English and to try to get the license here. And I have a friend in Florida. She is a hygienist there, and she was like, "Hey, life here is awesome. The job as a dentist here is great. You are young, so you can try to get your license." And I was like, "Why not?" Then I came here. I went first in New York City.
Was your first stop?
Yeah.
Okay, and then to Denver?
Yeah.
After that?
Denver.
Okay, so basically the decision was just, maybe was there some adventure in that decision, or was it just to make a better career?
Well, I think that I love the challenge. So maybe I found it a really good challenge for me to see what I can do. Obviously looking for a better lifestyle when I have my family in the future, I want to have a really good family with all the things that I had when I was in Colombia. And I thought that here in America I can give this for my future family. So maybe it was that.
And you're single, right?
Yeah,
You're single. So.
I'm single.
Okay. So let's talk about the transition from moving from Colombia to America. Tell me about that. Any unexpected challenges, or was it pretty steady?
Yeah, it was hard because the culture, and the language, of course, because you can find some walls between the people. You cannot communicate as much as you want at like the first.
As easily.
Exactly, because I'm a speaker in Spanish. Like I talk a lot in Spanish, but then when you need to learn another language to express your ideas, to tell the other people what do you think, it's hard. I think that it was the tough part of this. But then the transition was hard because you're missing your family, you're missing your job. And then my first job here was I was cooking hamburgers after working in a dental office. So you can
New York.
In New York.
Okay.
So you can feel that you're. I thought like, what I'm doing here.
So this is really good. So you're pursuing a new, I would call it a second tier dream or vision, perhaps, because you've reached a wonderful milestone. Yet you're wanting more, pursuing more, and then you come and you're cooking hamburgers. Okay. So was there ever a moment when you were feeling, am I making the right decision?
Exactly. Was one night, like my second day cooking hamburgers, I was cooking and I cut my finger, like trying to cut the tomato, and I saw my finger and I was like, what I'm doing here?
Oh, okay.
This is not for me. I'm not a cooker. I don't want to say that be a cooker is a bad job or something. It's because it wasn't the thing that I was in Colombia. I was working in my office.
And it was new to you and your body.
Exactly. So I was like, no, this is not for me. Maybe I need to do something else. Probably go back to Colombia and see if I can do better there or something. It was hard, but then I found another job in a dental office. So I found like the way. So it was much better, but it was hard.
What kept you going when you were feeling low?
My dreams, always my dreams. If you have your mind, if you have the dreams in your mind, then you can just focus on it, even though you're not having a good time. You just need to go for it.
But in that lower, if there was there? Am I correct? Was there kind of a little bit of a low point when you cut your finger?
Yeah, it was.
So do you just think, okay, I have a dream, or there's got to be a transition from this low point to I have to get going? What's that? Can you feel that or speak to that?
Yeah, well, it was. When I cut my finger, it was like I'm done. I don't want to be here anymore. But I called my mom and I told her like, hey, I'm not having a good time here, and she was like, no, but you're a warrior, you can do it. Probably my mom was.
So encouragement.
Exactly.
External. That's a key. That's key.
Probably was she.
Okay, very good. And then New York, and then you found the dental assisting job, and then.
Well, I found like this office in New York, and I was working there for almost 6 months. And it was great. Because I found again my feel. Like I was working there, and I feel like it was great because was my feel was dentistry. I was cleaning teeth. I was doing something that I knew how to do. So, but then when you are like an immigrant or something, then sometimes people can try to take advantage about your situation. So it was kind of hard, even though I learned a lot there because it was my first job in this dental field in America. But it wasn't as good as
it was in a way. And then what prompted you to come to Denver?
Well, actually, I have a friend here in Denver, a really good friend, and he went to the same dental school as I went when I was in Colombia. So he called me in November last year and was like, hey, buddy, my roommate is looking for another state, so I'm gonna have a room available in my house. And I was having a pretty bad time in New York with the weather, the loneliness, all these things, and I was like, well, why not? And he was like, we can study together here to get the license, because he's a dentist too. So I came here in January.
There's two real key things I heard. The first one was this next level dream. I really like that. That's a key thing, because I believe that dreams contain life inside of them. And then oftentimes there's so many stories about reaching, striving and reaching it, and then kind of like what's next. So what I like a lot about what you're saying is and I've never heard myself say it, but a next tier dream, because life is dynamic, it's always moving, and dreams are wanting us to move, and it can be shaped differently, whether it maybe not a career route, but then now to family, now to or with our health along the way. So I really like that. The second thing I heard you say that I want to speak a little bit about, as you said, sometimes maybe someone could take advantage of someone being an immigrant. So what I want to ask is, like, how did you, because I know you a little bit, how did you stay centered and just continue moving along?
Well, you can take all these things that you have experienced about, like, if it's when something wrong happened to you, then you can take this and focus on this thing in two ways, in the bad way or in the good way. So if you just try to focus this in a good way and try to just break this wall and just carry on and try to just looking for your dreams, then you can just ignore this kind of things. That's the way. Because if you make effect by this people around you, then your dream is gonna go away from your life, and then you're gonna stay in the same point your whole life.
Very good. So I'm getting to know Andres a little bit, and then I hear him singing, and I go, "You sing?"
I sing.
Do you sing? Okay. When did you first start singing?
Well, I have sung since, I don't know, probably since I was 5 years old, maybe.
Okay. Naturally, or your parents directed you?
Yeah, I was in the elementary school, and it was like a singing program for like a contest. Exactly.
Choir kid, yeah.
Exactly. So I sang there for I don't know, it was like 1,000 people. It was a good stage, and I was singing there, and I was super little, and my mom was like, "Oh, this guy is really good singing, like a really good singer." So I went to like a music academy for a while. So that's why my point. And then after a few months, when I was 7 years old, maybe, my grandma she gave me a guitar with a small book with all this chords and notes and stuff, and I was learning by myself. And then my mom was like, "Well, if you want to be a musician, let's go for it." So I went to another music institute for a long.
So you've had a lot of training, actually.
Yeah.
And you play piano?
Yeah, I do.
Guitar? What else?
Bass, ukulele, and drum, and a lot of like traditional Colombian instruments.
And when did you have time to study for dentistry?
Well,
just naturally.
This was like many years ago, so I was very little when I learned all this kind of instruments. So when I was a dentist, I already knew all these things.
That's great. Would you want to play something for us now?
Of course. You want something in Spanish?
Maybe a little bit of some Spanish, and then maybe we'll stop and transition a little bit English.
Okay.
So is there a story behind the one you want to play with us now?
Well, yeah, this is the first song that I that I learned in the guitar. So this is from Colombian singer, it's Fonseca, and the name of the song is Arroyito, so it means like a small river. So it's pretty, because I really like to sing about love. That's my favorite. Good
story.
Yeah.
So maybe a few measures and then to the chorus, and then we'll pause.
Okay. Y amaneció, me encontré con que emprendiste un largo viaje. Mi corazón se te escapó del equipaje y se quedó, fue para llenarme de recuerdos. Y eres el arroyito que baña mi cabaña, y eres el negativo de la foto de mi alma. Tú eres agua bendita que crece en mi cultivo, y eres ese rayito que me calienta el nido. No.
Very good.
That's me.
What were the key words there? About love.
About love. Yeah, this is like a story about if you have a crush, you have a girl that you really love, but she is like kind of, no, maybe not. So you're trying to convince her that you really like him.
Okay. Transition from no, maybe not. Excellent.
Exactly.
Okay, so what are you going to do with this for us in English?
Well, this is one of my favorite songs in English, and probably you know the song. So I don't want to say the name because I know that
Very
you're
good. So we'll know this one.
Yeah. When the night has come and the land is dark and the moon is the only light we'll see, no, I won't be afraid. No, I won't be afraid. Just alone as you stand by me. So darling, darling, stand by me. Always stand by me. Always stand by me.
Doesn't seem right without one applause. That is excellent. What has music done for you in your life? I mean, this is the first time I've ever interviewed someone with music, and I have to say I like it. What has music done for you?
Music is my passion. It's like one of the things that I do for like every single day. I cannot just stay one day without singing. I mean, I need to play guitar, I need to sing, even in my car, even in my life. So, and this makes me try to throw out all my feelings, all my like the things that I feel about life, about love, for my girlfriends, for my family, for life, for God, for everything. So yeah, music is an enormous part of my life.
That was an extra treat. I thank you very much for sharing it with myself and with all of us.
No, thank you.
Andres, thank you very much for joining us and taking the time.
No, thank you
right.
for this. It was great. I'm so grateful. And see you next time.
Yes, and maybe there will be. I'm David Dinsmore. Bye for now. Have a great day. Thank you.